I miss the good old days of when it was like, let's drop the puck as quick as we can. The linesmen have way too much power over this ridiculous, like, oh, you're gonna stand there and move your toes. It starts to get really frustrating and annoying.
So right off the bat, we're gonna give it down to the linesman, right?
Yes, 100%. Just drop the damn puck.
Yeah, that was it. And then all the icing, right? Like even the one like that Carolina player stopped skating, and I don't care what anyone says, that one should not have been icing, but it is what it is, I guess.
Heinen wasn't too happy about that one either. Like the one that it just barely crosses in the corner. It's like, yeah, that probably should have been waved off. But these young officials they think the game is about them and not about the players, and it's really starting to get old in a hurry.
Looks like we got a bit of a bad connection, Dustin. I'm just gonna hang up on you and pick you back up again. Yes, that looks better. Perfect.
There we go.
We'll give it down to the connection to start this Rusty and Dusty Sideshow.
Boo to the internet.
Can you find? Is there any ups in that? Because man, like Carolina is a very good defensive team. The Canucks did not get a lot going on in that period.
No. Petey had a couple good shifts. He did have a couple good chances there about 6 minutes in or so, around the 14-minute mark. Obviously the penalty kind of took a bit of our momentum away. And then not a great play by Miller. Obviously that's one he probably should have chipped up the boards, not played back into the middle of his own zone. That played it right into the danger area, and then it ends up in the back of our net. Looks like Miller's having a bit of a hard time getting into the game, and then on our power play, obviously throws everyone offside with a poor pass as well. So we'll need him to smarten up if we're gonna be successful against a team like Carolina.
Yeah, it's weird too, because even like JT Miller had that brutal cross check into Svechnikov's back that definitely should have been called, right?
Yeah, it should have been called with an embellishment as well. Like when they slowed it down and he literally jumped to the ice, I was like, holy moly, if there ever was an embellishment call, that's the one. But
being a 10 from the Russian judge.
Yeah, it's Olympic diving 101.
Oh my goodness. The Canucks did have 10 hits to Carolina's 1, so I guess we can call that an up. The Canucks came out hitting, and I mean, trying to grind out a Carolina team on a back-to-back can be quite difficult for a team.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they got to try and take advantage of a tired Carolina team here that's played 5 and 7 nights, I think, or something like that, or 4 and 7 nights, and on a back-to-back. So Carolina hopefully will start to lose their legs a bit here, and hopefully if we can have a second period like we had last game, then maybe we'll be able to do some damage and start driving the offense here a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely just start doing something, because 5 shots in a period is not enough, and we're not going to talk about that too much because I feel like we're always talking about the fact that the Canucks are not getting enough shots. But against a team like Carolina, Carolina is known for getting tons of shots. Like you said when we were chatting about this game last time, was the fact that Carolina generates a lot of shots. So that's something the Canucks need to really look at.
Yeah, I mean, and they'll shoot from anywhere. You've seen a couple already from like the hash marks against the boards. They'll just if there's a lane to the net and they have the puck, they're gonna shoot and try and get rebound goals. As you saw, their first goal was off a big rebound just by getting pucks to the net. That's their mandate: pucks to the net, pucks to the net, pucks to the net. And I hate to break it to the rest of the league, but it seems to work for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, they have, like I said in the pregame, they're playing pretty much 500 hockey lately. But overall, yes. I mean, they're still a top 10 team in the league. They generate a ton of goals, right? Like they're over 3 goals per game and under 3 goals against per game. So clearly what they're doing is working. So I don't know why the Canucks can't maybe take a piece of that and try it on for size.
Yeah, Carolina is struggling the last 10 games or so, but obviously had a great start to the season and have some major firepower on that lineup in Jarvis and Nietzsche and got Burns and Gossesbear on the blue line as well. So lots of ways to make you hurt.
I mean, it's one of those things too. A lot of the time when you're playing a team that did play the night before, sometimes you can be on your heels a little bit when you start the game because obviously they're feeling a little bit more into the game before they get there. So I mean, I'd say the Canucks are probably happy to be only down 1-0 after the first period.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
It's exactly how we drew it up.
Hey, it seems to have worked for us on the road most of the season. So why mess with a good thing, right?
So the Canucks are on the road. That means that Rogers Arena is empty. And I know that some 41's playing there tomorrow because I'm going to see them. So I'm very excited about that. But last night, the PWHL came to town. We haven't talked a lot about the women's hockey league, but they've been making some massive strides over the last couple of years. What'd you hear about how the game went?
All positive things. Great support from the city with 19,000 plus in attendance, I believe, which is more than any Canucks game has had all year because they're struggling to sell out that building with the product they're icing right now at home. Obviously, Vancouver's trying to show their justification for expansion with that league. It's a small league starting out with 6 teams, similar to the NHL, I guess, in its beginning. Elite women's hockey has always been fun to watch. Granted, it's historically a North American dominated section of hockey. Canada versus US is kind of the main two powerhouses when it comes to women's hockey. So most of those teams are made up of those players. But with something like a proper pro league being run with the right marketing and the right backers and the right governing, it should grow the game and bring the elite women's game to more younger eyes and start growing the player pool for that type of thing.
I'm going to throw the picture on the screen here from, I grabbed it from Reddit. It was Hronek meeting with another Czech player who actually was playing for the Toronto Scepters. I'm going to butcher the last name, but I'm going to try anyways. Nubarova.
Perfect. What's Don Taylor's rule? Just say it fast and with confidence.
Yeah. So yeah, like you mentioned, it is women's hockey has quite often in its history so far been dominated by obviously the United States and Canada. But you are starting to see some international players coming in, and the World Championship of Hockey for the women and the Olympics tournaments have started to see a little bit more competitiveness. So it is good to see some of those international players playing in the PWHL as well.
Definitely, yeah, and it's good to see the men supporting the women's game as well. Nice to see Hronek out there doing a jersey swap, and I'm sure Vancouver's at the top of the list of the PWHL for expansion cities. And last night a very good showing by the fans to support that venture.
Now they had 19,000 people at the game. How isn't that more than what you get at a Canucks game? Like, how did they manage to get more people in the stadium than you can at a Canucks game?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure if that just means every suite was filled. I know there's probably a lot of away tickets that get released day of for Canucks, or there's a certain chunk of tickets that go to broadcast people or scouts and things, which they may not count to overall attendance potentially. But I don't know. I believe the highest Canucks attendance is like 1,800 and 275 or something. So I don't know where the extra 750 come from, but good on Vancouver for packing the arena. And also, it was very loud in there, lots of support, and a really good game, like good quality hockey.
Yeah, I heard all good things. And if you're gonna put together a resume of why you deserve a team in the PWHL in Vancouver, that was it.
Yes, definitely.
Pettersson has been activated off of the IR. We saw him. How did you feel his first period of play has gone since coming back?
Oh, not bad. Had some good chances there. Obviously, he was finding his offensive stride right before the injury. He had a multi-point game there right before he left. Hopefully, he can fall right into that form. It looks so far like he's battling for the puck well. He's driving to the middle and working hard in the offensive zone. Um, Obviously, he brings more options offensively, but he'll help as well out there on the penalty kill. Not that the penalty kill has been our struggle really lately. He's going to help on the power play for sure if they can ever get established in the offensive zone. And obviously he will he's going to help in late game situations. You know, we've had some leads slip away from us here obviously over the last few couple of weeks while he's been out. He's usually out there as a checking forward in those late moments, and then again when it gets to overtime he's usually one of our more potent weapons in extra time. So having him back is nothing but good stuff for Talkit to hopefully get some of our secondary scoring going as well. It allows us to have more options and not allow the opposing team to focus just on shutting down one line.
Well, it's interesting because I think we chatted a little bit about this with Pettersson coming off the IR. We were trying to decide who's going to come out of the lineup, and it ended up being Big Hog.
Yeah, I mean, given the way Lekkerimäki played the last two games, that isn't entirely surprising. Just given the season that Hoaglander has had. Yes, he has had a better stretch of games as of late, but still struggles to put the puck in the back of the net, which ultimately is what we're wanting him to do. So we'll see how the rest of this game goes. I would imagine if Lekkerimäki doesn't get a little more going here in the offense, that we'll see Hoaglander back in the lineup tomorrow night in Toronto.
Probably have like maybe Assassin come out or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, interesting to see too because they had Assassin lining up on the third line tonight rather than being on the fourth line. So um, maybe that's a good sign that maybe he stays in the lineup and maybe somebody else comes out, but I don't know who that would be at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
We got some Canucks prospect news because the some of our prospects have been moving around. We talked earlier about Ulrichsen, who got traded earlier in the year. The CHL has their trading frenzy coming up right now, which meant that a couple of Canucks prospects are now actually playing together. So you got Riley Pettersson, who was drafted 125th overall, and then Anthony Romani, who was drafted 162 overall in the 2024 draft. They actually roomed together at the Young Stars tournament, and now they're both playing on the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, so it's great for Romani, who's now been traded to the Colts, who are leading the Eastern Conference in the OHL. So it's always nice to get traded to a contender. It's even better when you have a buddy playing on that team that has been drafted by the same NHL team as you. As you said, they roomed together during development camp, which is where the friendship really blossomed and where they got to know each other a little better. And I mean, it never hurts to have prospects building chemistry at any level, whether that be junior, AHL, NHL, wherever that be. It's really good to have those two guys down there working together, and we'll see how the rest of their season plays out. Right now, Colts are in a really good spot, and all signs point to them having a great playoff push as well.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll even get a little bit of time playing on the same pair there as well, because that would be interesting to see. Like you said, developing chemistry even before they get into like an AHL level kind of thing. And Romani, he's kind of one of those guys, right, that got drafted a little bit late, but has been showing a lot of offensive upside. So he'll be bringing some of that scoring touch to the Barrie Colts, I assume.
Yeah, he was an overage draft pick, I believe, and that was with his 58 goals, I believe, last year. He had in the OHL, so uh, definitely can put the puck in the back of the net. So yeah, look for those two guys to have a strong finish to their season. And then another trade actually involving a Canucks prospect, Sawyer Mignot,
Mm.
from Team Canada, is now coming north of the border. He's been traded by the Seattle Thunderbirds to the Calgary Hitmen for a couple of first-round draft picks and two other players. So a bit of a big trade there in the WHL.
Yeah, 'tis the season. They always do it a little bit earlier than we do because their playoffs get going pretty quick here. Well, I guess not
Yes, yes.
but sooner than the NHL does. Do we have any updates from the Abbey Canucks at all with regards to the roster or anything like that tonight, playing against Henderson? Or what are they you're thinking Shilov's probably gets the start, or they're going to be running with Tolopilo? Or
I think Shilov's probably gets the start, given that Tolopilo had the 2 games against Laval. So with Shilov's having to come up to cover for the Demko back spasms. We'll have we'll have confirmation on the lineup post game, but no news right now as to lineup or who's playing, so or who's in or out of the lineup. So we will see how that goes. They hit the ice tonight at 7:00 in Abbotsford, and hopefully they can get off of this losing streak that they've been on lately.
Yeah, 6-game losing streak. They need to stop that right now.
Absolutely.
Before we get back into the first period, I forgot to ask you too about Thatcher Demko, because obviously his first game back after having those back spasms. Are you feeling he kind of looks like a guy who's missed a couple days, or is he looking kind of get back into stride?
No, I think he looked pretty good. That one rebound up the middle, I mean, it just kind of the way the shot came through. He had to fight through traffic to even find the puck to make the first save. And you kind of hope that the rest of your team is going to be around to clean up the garbage and not leave that juicy of a slot open. So, really, I didn't see anything bad in his game. So we'll see how he goes for the rest of the game here. But hopefully, the team in front of him can shut down Carolina a little better and get the play down in their end and get some shots on Tokarski.
Wasn't that your nickname in roller hockey, with Juicy Slot?
I beg your pardon. Is that borderline swear jar territory? PG show.
Canucks come out firing here, you hope?
I hope so. If they can get 21 shots like they did in the second period last game, hopefully they'll be able to beat Tokarski with a couple of them. He did not look super solid in the first period, so when you have a young, inexperienced goalie, basically an AHL goalie playing at the other end, you want to get lots of shots on him. So we need to do a better job, and we've shown that we're able to do that in the second period. So hopefully it's more of the same here in Carolina.
I hope so too. Awesome. We'll talk to you in the post game, brother.
Sounds good.
Nothing is perfect.